There we go. A little Yozuri 3dB pencil fish. Everybody throws topwater in the morning and for a good reason. Fish are the most active. It's low light conditions. Let's see if we can catch another one. I love throwing a walking bait. It's probably my favorite way of topwater fishing. There's several reasons why I like a walking bait. For one, you can cover a ton of water. You know, you can keep that bait moving, cover a lot of water. And two, I just feel like it's a presentation that bass never get tired of. You know, there's a lot of other topwater baits that hit the market and they, you know, take over for a season or a couple of seasons and then they start to die off. But this one, I mean, it's been around forever and it's just that side-to-side action the fish just can't stand. You know, walking baits too are really good in calm conditions and windy conditions. You know, the deal is that, you know, when it's calm, you can kind of do a softer walk. When the wind picks up, you just kind of, you know, crack your rod tip a little bit, you know, swifter, and you can still draw those fish up. So it's probably the most versatile topwater bait on the market, in my opinion. So the wind's kind of picked up a little bit, and all I do is I'll twitch my rod just a little bit sharper twitches and try to pop that braid more, which will in turn cause this 3dB pencil to spit and for that one knocker to knock harder. Basically, I'm throwing this on 40-pound Yozuri braid. That's a key part of this whole topwater game, whether you're throwing a walking bait or a popper or a prop bait. I'm a huge proponent of braid in topwater fishing because what happens is if you try to throw topwater on mono, there's too much stretch, so the bait doesn't do what you want it to do. There's too much of a lag time. That braid is just transferring exactly what you're doing with that rod. So that's really key to making these baits act like you want them to act, is to throw it on braid. There it is. Decent topwater fish. I can always tell by the way these fish hit whether they're like, you know, hitting because they're mad or they're hitting because they're like hungry. And that one just, he was zeroed in on it. And well, I got the fish and it got me, so. I could tell just by the way he hit it, like, you know, sometimes you'll get a topwater bite where they'll just kind of, you know, knock it out of the water. That one really zeroed in on it and he was playing for keeps. Oh, there's a good bite. Man, that was pretty cool. I actually saw that fish back there feeding on some bait back in there and threw right in there on him and got him to come up and hit this bad boy. You know, what's cool about the 3 hooks is that, you know, I mean, heck, that's 9 hooks on this bait, so you stand a pretty good chance of hooking them. So like I mentioned earlier, I really like throwing 40-pound braid. I'm throwing Yozuri 40-pound super braid. I feel like you know, that's strong enough to where I'm never going to break off, but it's still thin enough. Oh golly! I didn't even twitch it. Oh, that was pretty cool. And so let's go ahead and flip him in. So like I was saying, we got the 40-pound Yozuri super braid. I tie a fluorocarbon leader, just a short leader, only about 12-15 inches. So either, you know, probably 25 to 30 pound. You know, I'm actually throwing 30-pound top knot. And that was a fun bite, man. I was sitting there trying to talk about my setup and dang, he exploded on it. I never even had to twitch it. That was cool. Thank you, buddy. I feel like that 40-pound is perfect because It's strong enough to where it's never going to break, but it's still thin enough to where you can make really long casts. I love throwing my walking baits on a 7-foot medium action rod. This happens to be the Abu Garcia Veracity 7-foot medium, and pair that up with just the Revo MGX 8-to-1 gear ratio. What you don't want to do is overpower your rod with that braid. You know, there's no stretch in the braid, so don't use too heavy of a rod. That 7-foot medium action is going to be perfect for that.